What's up, my pawns? Welcome back. We're here with another arena fight. Hope y'all enjoy. Obviously, you will know who one of the players are. It's clearly the hillbilly. I'm excited. I was excited to hear this fight. It was a fun fight. I think it was pretty cool. Hope y'all enjoy the little Easter egg. I'm gonna try to stream more of a story. Since the AI's doing it, I'm gonna try to help build like a story in between it. But without taking up too much of your time and without further ado, hope y'all enjoy.
In the dimly lit, abandoned asylum, Max Thompson Jr., the relentless hillbilly from Dead by Daylight, faces off against Sally Smithson, the twisted nurse. The hillbilly's chainsaw revs loudly, the blade spinning with deadly intent, while the nurse grips her bone saw tightly, a grin on her face. They circle each other, predators stalking their prey. The hillbilly lunges first, his chainsaw swinging in a wide arc. The nurse dodges, her movements quick and agile. She counters with a swipe of her bone saw, the blade missing the hillbilly's face by inches. He swings his hammer, aiming for her head, but she ducks beneath the blow and slashes at his leg with her saw. The hillbilly stumbles, his chainsaw falls. The hillbilly, recovering from the nurse's attack, revs his chainsaw and charges forward with a fierce roar. His dash attack is swift and brutal, the spinning blade of his chainsaw aimed directly at the nurse's torso. She tries to dodge, but his momentum is too great. The chainsaw bites deep, tearing through her flesh and bone. The nurse screams, a sound of pain and fury, as she is lifted off her feet and slammed against the asylum wall. The hillbilly presses his advantage, his hammer crashing down onto her skull with a sickening crunch. But the nurse is not so easily defeated. Even as her body slumps to the ground, her hand shoots out, grabbing the hillbilly's ankle. With a final surge of strength, she pulls him off balance, sending him crashing to the floor beside her. The nurse, her body broken and bleeding, begins to blink rapidly, her form flickering in and out of existence. The hillbilly, dazed from the fall, struggles to his feet, his chainsaw sputtering and dying. He swings his hammer wildly, trying to connect with the nurse's elusive form. But she is always one step ahead, her blinks allowing her to dodge his attacks with ease. She reappears behind him, her bone saw slicing through the air. The hillbilly spins, his hammer deflecting the blow, but the force of the impact sends him staggering. He falls to one knee, his breath coming in ragged gasps. The nurse leans over him, her bone saw poised to deliver the final, deadly strike. But the hillbilly is not defeated yet. With a final, desperate cry, he lunges forward, his hammer swinging in a wild, unpredictable arc. The hillbilly's hammer connects with the nurse's bone saw with a deafening clang. The force of the impact sends shockwaves through both weapons, and they shatter into pieces, flying in all directions. The nurse staggers back, her hand clutching her broken wrist. The hillbilly, his hammer reduced to a twisted, useless hunk of metal, tosses it aside. He rises to his feet, his chest heaving and his eyes wild with primal fury. The nurse, her bone saw shattered, looks at him with a mix of fear and hatred. She knows she is outmatched, her weapons destroyed, and her body broken. But the hillbilly is relentless. He charges forward, his fist clenched, and his teeth bared in a snarl. The nurse tries to blink away, but her injuries have weakened her. The hillbilly, with a strength born of madness and rage, drags the weakened nurse across the asylum floor. She struggles and thrashes, but her injuries have left her too weak to resist. He reaches a hook, the rusted metal gleaming in the dim light. With a savage grin, he hoists the nurse up, her wrists and ankles bound tightly. She hangs there, helpless and terrified, her eyes wide with fear. But then, out of the corner of his eye, the hillbilly catches a glimpse of a shadowy figure watching them from the darkness. The trapper, silent and still, his eyes fixed on the scene unfolding before him. The hillbilly's grin widens, a cruel and knowing smile. He knows the trapper is there, watching, waiting. But he does not acknowledge him. The hillbilly turns his attention back to the nurse, ignoring the trapper's presence. He begins his brutal work, his hands moving with a sickening efficiency as he prepares to torment his captive. The nurse's screams echo through the asylum, a symphony of pain and fear that fills the air. But the trapper remains silent, his eyes never leaving the grisly scene before him. He commits every detail to memory, the hillbilly's methods, his tools, his weaknesses. It is all valuable information, data to be analyzed and exploited. When the hillbilly is finally finished, he turns and disappears into the shadows, leaving the broken nurse hanging from the hook. The trapper waits a moment longer, then slips away, melting into the darkness of the asylum that he has what he's looking for. Information on his next target, and a newfound respect for the... As the hillbilly vanishes into the shadows, the entity, the twisted force that binds the realms of the living and the dead, senses the fresh offering. It descends upon the asylum, a writhing mass of tendrils and darkness. The nurse, her body broken and her mind shattered, hangs limp from the hook, her eyes glazed and unseeing. The entity envelopes her, its tendrils piercing her flesh and invading her soul. She screams, a sound of pure, unadulterated terror, as the entity tears her apart, consuming her essence and adding her suffering to its own. But the trapper, hidden in the shadows, watches with a cold, calculating gaze. He sees the power of the entity, the raw, primal force that fuels the killers and survivors of the game. And he knows, with a certainty that sends a chill down his spine, that this is a power he must harness in the end. It is the hillbilly who emerges victorious from his brutal confrontation with the nurse. His savage strength and relentless ferocity proved too much for her to overcome, despite her supernatural abilities. The hillbilly's chainsaw and hammer, combined with his unhinged brutality, allowed him to overwhelm the nurse and secure his dominance. While the nurse's bone saw and blink ability made her a formidable opponent, they were ultimately no match for the hillbilly's raw, primal power. His victory is a testament to his unyielding nature and his willingness to do whatever it takes to emerge victorious. The hillbilly stands tall, his chest heaving and his eyes wild, the broken remnants of the nurse lying at his feet. He is the undisputed winner of this deadly encounter. As the hillbilly prepares to leave the asylum, his work with the nurse complete, he notices something glinting in the dim light. Crouching down, he picks up a small, metallic object, a calling card, adorned with the distinctive symbol of the trapper. His eyes narrow, a cruel smile spreading across his face. He knows the trapper has been watching, studying his methods. The thought sends a thrill of excitement through him. He pockets the calling card, a trophy of their unspoken rivalry. As he exits the asylum, the entity descends upon the broken form of the nurse, its tendrils writhing and twisting as it consumes her essence. The hillbilly pauses, watching the grisly spectacle with a detached fascination. He knows that the entity's power is a force to be reckoned with, and he wonders what role the trapper plays in this twisted game.
Okay guys, so y'all can't tell me, first off, sorry, I didn't expect that round to end early enough, so I just started playing around with, I just kind of started playing around with it, but you know what guys, did y'all expect the hillbilly to come in clutch? And by coming clutch, I mean absolutely decimate the nurse, bro. Like, the game was not even close. And you know what else game wasn't even close? This game, bro. How the heck am I gonna find, like, 4 people hiding in lockers in the basement? And then the last guy just came sprinting down into the basement and jumped right on top of me, bro. It was kind of crazy. But man, I'm still pretty much enjoying this so far. Ignore my non-arena accurate nurse. I just kind of have the pumpkin head on. But like and subscribe if y'all enjoyed. Thank y'all guys so much for watching. This has been me, Ace the Game Master, and I can always play with y'all next time. Bye.